Welcome back to another Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into one of the most fascinating and frankly epic mysteries tucked inside the ancient texts of the Mahabharata. We're going to unpack a storyline that catches pretty much everyone off guard the first time they hear it, the destiny of Draupadi. Why on earth was this single extraordinary princess fated to marry not one, but 5 brothers, the legendary Pandavas no less? Well, as we dig into the source text, we're going to see how a completely bizarre chain of cosmic events, a few panicked gods, and some very ancient curses all click together to orchestrate this seemingly impossible earthly marriage.
Right off the bat, this is the exact same question absolutely plaguing King Drupada. He's just been handed this highly unconventional proposal for his daughter, Draupadi. And from a strictly human point of view, a woman taking 5 husbands at once is completely unprecedented. It's shocking. He honestly doesn't know what to make of it. But then, enter the great seer, Vyasa. Vyasa steps in like a sort of cosmic detective. He's ready to pull back the curtain on reality and explain to the bewildered king the divine mandate behind all this. He's about to prove that what looks like a total scandal down on Earth is actually the flawless execution of a massive celestial plan.
Chapter 1, A Cosmic Population Crisis. Now, to really grasp this earthly anomaly, we actually have to travel way back in time to a completely bizarre crisis up in the heavens.
It literally starts with a divine administrative glitch. Back in the days of yore, the Celestials were holding this grand sacrifice in the forest of Nimisha. The catch? Yama, the god of death, was put in charge of acting as the priest. And because Yama was completely tied up with these priestly duties for months on end, he stopped doing his main job. He stopped killing human beings. Months turned into years without a single human death, and naturally, the Earth's population absolutely skyrocketed. This massive, unchecked overpopulation completely terrified the other gods, who felt like the entire natural order was just collapsing around them.
The panic gets so bad it boils over. The gods actually rush to Prajapati, the creator of the universe, and they're complaining, "The mortals have all become immortal. There's literally no distinction now between us and them." They are genuinely feeling threatened by this. The creator, though, he's perfectly calm. He reassures the terrified deities, basically saying, look, Yama is just busy. Once this grand sacrifice wraps up, he's going to be infused with even more energy, and he'll sweep away the humans by the thousands. The balance of mortality is going to be violently restored.
Chapter 2, Indra meets the Supreme God. So, reassured by the Creator, the gods head back. But this temporary relief just sets up our next cosmic domino, and this one involves Indra, the powerful chief of the Celestials.
Picture this. Indra is near the river Bhagirati, and he spots something incredible floating down the current, golden lotuses. Driven by curiosity, he travels upstream to find the source, and what he finds is this stunning woman who literally possesses the splendor of fire. She's washing herself in the stream and she's weeping. And here's the crazy part. Every single tear she sheds turns into a golden lotus the second it hits the water. When Indra asks who she is and why she's crying, she just tells him to follow her. She leads him deep, deep into the Himavat Mountains, right up to a peak where a handsome youth is casually sitting on a throne, just playing a game of dice. What's really fascinating here is the sheer speed of Indra's downfall. Indra sees this youth totally ignoring him, just engrossed in his dice game, and he gets incredibly arrogant. He puffs up his chest and actually declares, "I am the Lord of the universe." But, plot twist, this youth is no ordinary person. It's the god Mahadeva, the god of gods. Mahadeva doesn't even bother to stand up. He simply casts a glance at Indra and smiles. And instantly, Indra's staggering arrogance is crushed. That single glance completely paralyzes the chief of the Celestials, freezing him in place like a wooden stake. It is an utterly paralyzing humiliation.
Chapter 3, The Cave of 5 Indras. Stripped of his pride and absolutely terrified, Indra is finally freed from his paralysis, only to be given a daunting task that reveals a massive hidden consequence. Mahadeva commands the newly humbled Indra to use his immeasurable strength to roll away this huge stone nearby. When Indra moves it, it reveals this deep, dark cave hidden in the breast of the mountain. And inside, Indra is horrified to find 4 other beings who look exactly like him. We're talking Vishvabhuk, Bhuttadaman, Sivi, and Shanti. These are 4 former Indras from previous eras, all of them stripped of their glory and imprisoned in this cave because they too had succumbed to immense pride. Mahadeva then looks at the current Indra and drops a heavy curse that binds all 5 of them. He decrees that they must all be reborn in the mortal world, and it is not an easy ticket back.
They have to accomplish incredibly difficult feats, fight massive battles, and literally earn their way back to heaven through their own merit. But to help them out down on Earth, they'll be fathered by powerful gods, Dharma, Vayu, Maghavat, and the twin Ashwins. This divine curse, this path to redemption, is exactly what sets the stage for the 5 Pandava brothers we know so well.
Chapter 4. The Fivefold Husband Request. Okay, so we've got 5 fallen gods destined to be reborn as 5 mighty brothers. But how exactly does the earthly princess Draupadi fit into this cosmic punishment?
To make King Drupada understand, Vyasa pulls on another hidden thread. He tells the king that Draupadi isn't just an ordinary mortal either. In a past life, she was the beautiful, chaste daughter of an illustrious rishi. But despite all her virtues, she couldn't find a husband. Desperate, she threw herself into incredibly severe ascetic penances to gratify the Supreme Lord Sankara, which, as we know, is just another name for Mahadeva.
Pleased with her intense devotion, Sankara actually appears and offers her a boon, telling her to ask for literally whatever she desires. And guys, this is the ultimate be careful what you wish for moment. In her overwhelming eagerness and anxiety, she begged the god, "Give me a husband possessed of every accomplishment." But she didn't just say it once. She accidentally repeated her prayer, "Give me a husband," exactly 5 times. Sankara is bound by the strict literalism of divine boons, so he grants her wish exactly as she spoke it. He tells her, "Thou hast, O maiden, addressed me 5 full times. Therefore, O amiable one, it shall even be as thou hast asked." Even when she frantically tries to correct herself, saying, "No, I only wanted 1 virtuous husband," Sankara insists that the boon has already been cast. She asked 5 times, so she's getting 5 husbands. But he graciously delays this overwhelming fate, decreeing that it won't happen until her future life.
Chapter 5. The Divine Reveal. It is all finally coming together. We have 5 proud Indras cursed to be reborn as mortal heroes, and 1 devoted maiden promised 5 husbands in her next life. The pieces of this intricate cosmic puzzle are locking into place. Vyasa perfectly maps the whole thing out for King Drupada, showing him how every single earthly character has a direct celestial origin. Those 5 Indras from the cave? They are the 5 Pandava brothers. Arjuna specifically is born from a portion of the current Indra's energy. And that weeping woman whose tears turned into golden lotuses? That was the goddess Shri, the goddess of grace, predestined to be reborn as Drupada to become their common wife. Even the supreme being Narayana gets involved, plucking a white and a black hair from his own body, which are then reborn as Vasudeva and the great Krishna.
Now, obviously, it's one thing to be told a wildly complex cosmic story like this, and it's a completely different thing to actually believe it. King Drupada is listening, sure, but he needs proof. So to completely shatter the king's remaining doubts, the mighty Vyasa decides to grant him a temporary gift: spiritual sight. This is a super rare, divine vision that lets a mortal eye pierce right through earthly disguises to behold the true, radiant, celestial forms of the being standing right in front of them. The second Vyasa activates this spiritual sight, Drupada's breath is just taken away. The 5 mortal princes standing in his hall suddenly transform right before his eyes. He beholds them in their former celestial bodies. We're talking radiant complexions glowing like fire or the sun itself. They're decked out in golden crowns and fragrant celestial garlands. These aren't just men anymore. They are towering figures with broad chests measuring something like 5 cubits tall, possessing the sheer, awe-inspiring presence of the gods themselves. Witnessing this undeniable, blinding proof of cosmic design, all of King Drupada's earthly anxieties just completely vanish. He realizes he's no longer looking at a scandalous proposal. He's looking at pure, divine destiny. Overjoyed and deeply humbled, the monarch cheerfully touches the feet of the great Vyasa. He finally gets that his daughter is the only worthy wife for these extraordinary celestial beings, and he fully, happily accepts the unconventional marriage. It's such a brilliant resolution to what seemed like a deeply confusing earthly problem. But honestly, it leaves us with a fascinating final thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Think about it. In this text, we see that even the mighty lords of the universe and devoted sages are totally bound by the karmic dominoes of their own past pride and hasty prayers. If epic heroes and even the gods themselves are simply playing out a meticulously pre-written cosmic script, forced into their lives by their past actions, it really begs the ultimate question. How much free will do any of us truly have? Definitely something to think about next time you wish for something. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive into the Mahabharata. See you next time.